Erev Tov, good evening, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Let's turn in our Sidurim to page 10. Page 10, as we join together, Hine ma tov u'manayim, how good it is that we're together this Shabbat.
Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov. Yadadai, 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 yadadai. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov. Yadadai, 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 yadadai. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad.
And our Kabbalat Shabbat continues on page 12 as we join in singing Psalm 95.
Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Naria, naria, letzur yishenu, nekadma fanav b'todah. Naria, naria, letzur yishenu, Bismirot naria lo. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai.
Let's turn in our Sidurim to pages 2 and 3 and rise as we are able for the blessing of our Sabbath lights. We'll be led in that blessing this evening by our Bat Mitzvah, Allison Munson. Pages 2 and 3.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter the sanctuary in need, all who bring the offering of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We can be seated as we continue on page 20, welcoming Shabbat like a bride, like a queen with the singing of Lecha Dodi, verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, remembering to rise and greet the Sabbath bride on the last verse. Page 20.
Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nekabela.
Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nekabela la la la.
Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad, Ishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad, Shemo echad, L'shem ul tiferet v'liti la 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 la.
Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nekabela.
Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor haberacha, meirosh mikerem nisucha, sof ma'aseh v'machshava techila la 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 la
Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nekabela.
Hitoreri, toreri, kiva orech kumiori, uri shir daveri, kivornai alaich nigila la 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 la
Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nekabela.
Bo'i v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha uv'tzala, toch emunei am segula, bo'i chala, la 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 la
Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nekabela la la la. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nekabela. And let's join together on page 22. A song for Shabbat. It is good to give thanks. Tov lahodot.
Tov lechodot l'Adonai, ulezamir l'shimcha elyon. Tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulezamir l'shimcha elyon. On this the day of days, my lips shall sing your praise, for I know that you'll always be here surrounding me. Tov lechodot l'Adonai, ulezamir l'shimcha elyon. Tov lechodot
Our service continues on page 145. Page 145 with Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבך
Amen.
בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומייכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה בעגלה ובזמן קריב בימרו אמן יהי שמרה במברך לעולם ולעולמי עולמיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי דקודשו בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא בימרו אמן. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruchu et Adonai, Hamevorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Le'olam Va'ed Le'olam Va'ed Ya la 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 Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach sha'arim, uvitvuna mishane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה, גולל אור מפני חושך, וחושך מפני אור. ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבים. In each age we receive and transmit Torah. At each moment, we are addressed by the world. In each age, we are challenged by our ancient teachers.
At each moment, we stand face to face with truth.
In each age, we add our wisdom to that which has gone before. At each moment, the knowing heart is filled with wonder.
In each age, the children of Torah become its builders and seek to set the world firm on a foundation of truth.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברתם בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת.
Bottom of 151. We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all. Yet that oneness eludes our grasp as imperfect. Before our eyes there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness.
There is evil enough to break the heart, and there is good enough to exalt the soul.
When will redemption come?
When we grant everyone what we claim for ourselves.
Long ago, we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High.
We learned God's presence redeems time and event, so we celebrate this power that makes for freedom. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נטור בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך ראו בניך, פוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלינו ויאמרו, זה אלינו ויאמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
Together. Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are a true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours.
Baruch atah Adonai, haborei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai, ועל ירושלים ועל כל עמו, ועל ירושלים שלום, ועל ירושלים ועל כל עמו, ועל ירושלים שלום. ברוך אתה אדוני הבורא סוכת שלום. שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל. שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל.
Top of the next page.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Let's rise now together for the Amidah.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Bekonei Hakol, Bezocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei Bneihem, Leman Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Be'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Bechayei hako atarav lehoshia. Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem. Mechakel chayim bechesed. Bechayei hako berachamim rabim. Samech novlim berofeh cholim. U'matir asurim. U'mekayem emunato lishenei afar. Bichamocha ba'al gevurot. U'mido melech. Melech mimit u'mechayeh. U'matzmiach Yeshua. V'ne'eman atah l'hachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Together at the bottom of 160. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may we all live in such a way that this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Be gracious, Adonai, our God, to your people Israel, and receive our prayers with love. Well, may our worship always be acceptable to you. Fill us with the knowledge that you are near to all who seek you in truth. Let our eyes behold your presence in our midst, and in the midst of our people in Zion. Blessed is Adonai, whose presence renews Zion. Baruch atah Adonai, hamachazir shechinato l'Tzion. Top of 163, we read responsively. For the good in us, which calls us to a better life, we give thanks.
For the strength to improve the world with our hearts and our hands, we offer praise.
For the desire in us which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful.
For life and nature, harmony and beauty, for the hope of tomorrow, all praise to the source of being.
For all these things, O Sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving.
Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha u'lecha na'eh lehodot. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Ki Adonai Melech Adon Lechol Shalom. Ki Adonai Melech Adon Lechol Shalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלום
On page 253. Page 253. We take time in our service to think of those who are in need of healing, the healing of body and the healing of spirit. If you are thinking of one or more than one who's in need of healing and wish to share their names out loud, I invite you to do so as my eyes scan around the room. We add to that Carl Schreier. For all those we mention out loud, for all those we mention in our hearts, together we pray for healing.
Mishebeira avotenu mekor habracha li'imotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishebeirach imotenu mekor habracha li'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Oh, say shalom, shalom bibromav. Huya say shalom aleinu. Ve'akol Israel. Ve'imru Amen. Uyaseh shalom.
Let's rise now together for Kiddush. And let's welcome up the kids who have not yet become bar or bat mitzvah to join us up on the bima for Kiddush, to receive a Kiddush cup from Nancy Darginio, our board member, who is going to lead us in the English of Kiddush. Hebrew of Kiddush is on page 5.
Let us praise God with this symbol of joy and give thanks for the blessings of the past week, for life and strength, for home and love and friendship, for the discipline of our trials and temptations, for the happiness that has come to us out of our labors. You have ennobled us, O God, by the blessings of work, and in love have sanctified us by Sabbath rest and worship as ordained in the Torah. 6 days shall you labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath to be hallowed unto the Eternal, your God.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho b'ahava u'b'ratzon yinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh bereishit ki hu yom tehillah l'mikra'ei kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim kivanu b'charta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha b'ahava u'b'ratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
L'chaim. Let's stretch our hands out over our children, whether they're on the bima or maybe sitting next to us, and say up over them, may God bless you.
May God bless you.
And protect you.
And protect
May
you.
God's light
May God's light
shine in you.
shine in you.
And inspire you.
And inspire you.
May God's presence
May God's presence
always be with you.
always be with you.
And bless you.
And bless you.
With shalom.
With shalom.
With peace.
With peace.
Amen.
Amen.
If you want to give your cups back to Mrs. Darginio, you can. Or hang on to them, whatever.
The taste stays forever.
After he does it, we'll remain standing for our Seder Kriyat HaTorah, our service for the reading of Torah.
Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omed. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omed. Al Torah v'al avodah v'al gemilut chasadim. Al Torah v'al avodah v'al gemilut chasadim. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omed. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim,
על שלושה דברים, העולם, amen.
So Shabbat Shalom, everyone. In this week's Torah portion, Vayeshev, we have the beginning of the story of Joseph. And just to set the scene of what I'm going to read in a second, Jacob did not learn the lessons of his family's history and decides to have a favorite child. Like his parents before him, it doesn't go so well. And we're at a point where his father has played favorites, given him a striped or a colored robe or jacket to wear. Joseph is a man of dreams. He makes the mistake of showing off about his dreams and telling his brothers about them, which also doesn't go well. And his brothers decide to kill him. Instead, they throw him into a pit, because that's somehow better. Now, in the end, in case you haven't read the story before, it all turns out okay. Joseph ends up getting sold into slavery, which is not good. However, because of that, he ends up being second in command to Pharaoh himself. Because of that, is later able to save his brothers by giving them food during famine, thank you. And it all works out well. But in this moment, I'm going to read the part where his brothers throw him into a pit. It describes the pit as empty and without water. And the pit exists bamidbar, in the wilderness. A phrase that's familiar to us because our people ends up in the wilderness a few chapters in the future. Now, what's interesting is that the wilderness, the midbar, is not just a place of nothingness. It's not just a place of wandering. The word itself actually suggests that that midbar is a place of speech. That's why we receive the Ten Commandments there. It's why so much wisdom passed on from there. But the difference between that midbar and this pit in a midbar is that in the wilderness, where our people will end up, we had a well that followed us. We had water, we had sustenance, and we had the hope for redemption. In this pit, it's just not there. But I think we can have hope from the story that even in times when we are in the pits of the life, even if we don't recognize that there is hope, there is hope. Things can change, things can become better, even if we can't see that around us. So it's my hope as we hear the words of Torah that we can remember for ourselves that even in times of hopelessness, we can find hope. And for our Aliyah, been thinking a lot about summer camp lately, in general, but particularly lately. About a year ago, Camp Newman, the Reformed Jewish camp in California, burned to the ground. In the fires last month, 3 Jewish summer camps had major fire damage in California. And just this week, the Kutz camp, our teen leadership camp in Warwick, New York, a place where I have called a spiritual home and literal home. I actually lived there year-round for 2 years, announced that it was closing. I think camp is a source of hope for many of our kids, a place where they can define themselves and be themselves, and even when life is hard the rest of the time, have hope that the next summer will come, learn lessons about themselves when they're at camp that help them even in the darkest times. So for anyone who has been to camp and who has found in camp a place of speech, a place of redemption, I invite you to come forward for the Aliyah. Ya'amdu kol ha-chanichim me-machanot la'amod la'aliyah. Any camp, any people, even if you have not yet celebrated becoming bar mitzvah, you may come up.
And if you want to follow along in the Chumash, you're going to be looking in the Plowed Commentary on page 248.
And I'm going to be reading from verse 19 to verse 24. Okay.
We got a couple of stragglers. Hang on. Go. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Baruch Adonai habarach le'olam va'ed. Amen. Can you hold this right here? Thank you. V'yomru ish el achiv, hine ba'al hachalomot halazeh ba, va'ata l'chu v'nahargehu v'nashlichehu be'echad haborot, v'amarnu chaya ra'ah achalatanu, v'nireh ma yehiyu chalumotav. V'yishma Reuven, v'yatzlihu mi'adam, v'yomer lo, nachenu nafesh, v'yomer alehem Reuven, al tishbachu dam, hashlichu oto el habor hazeh, asher bamidbar, v'yad al tashlichu vo, lema'an hatzil oto mi'adam, lahashivo el aviv. Vayihika asher ba Yosef el achiv, v'yafshitu et Yosef et kutanto et ketonet hapasim asher alav, v'yikachehu v'yishlichu oto habora, v'habor reik ein bo mayim. And the brothers said to each other, I have to find my place again. I got it. And the brothers said, I got it. And the brothers said to each other, hey, here's the master of dreams. He's coming. Let's kill him and throw him into one of these pits. And we'll say that a wild animal ate him. And we'll see what becomes of his dreams. And Reuben, the oldest brother, heard and freed him from their hands and said, don't kill him. He said to them, Reuben said to them, don't shed blood and throw him into this pit. Instead, don't shed blood. Just throw him into this pit that's in the wilderness, and we won't have blood on our hands. He did this in order to free him from their hands and to return him to his father. When Joseph came to his brothers, they stripped Joseph from his coat, the coat of many colors that was upon him, and they took him and threw him into the pit. And the pit was empty, it had no water. 1, 2, 3. Amen.
Hold on to that. We'll rise for Hagbah and Glilah, and we'll remain standing as we return our Torah to the Ark.
V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael, Amchi Adonai b'yad Moshe. Etz chayim hi l'machzikimo b'tomchecha me'ushar derachecha dorcheinum v'chol netivotecha shalom. Hashivenu
Please be seated. Yasher Koach, Rabbi. I want to explore a philosophical idea with you. What is an acceptable amount of pain? What is an acceptable level of trauma? What is our comfort level with letting people suffer? I'm going to take a stab in the dark and assume that the answer for us is none. There is no level of acceptable trauma, pain, and suffering. For those of us who have experienced pain and suffering, and all of us have experienced pain and suffering, whether it's emotional or physical or psychological, the very thought of a painful moment in our lives, an injury, an abusive encounter, is enough to send most of us into a tailspin. Some of us can heal and move forward from our injuries, but many of us find past trauma never really goes away. And we all know people who are like that. I have a friend in his 50s who played football in high school, not at an especially high level. And he is still dealing with knee issues from his time on the field more than 35 years ago. If we're like most people, we hear that and we shake our heads, intolerant of the idea of still living with pain from a past injury, at the same time feeling our own body and our own history of ache. So if we accept this idea that there is no level of pain that is acceptable, that there's no level of trauma that is acceptable, I want to move on to a very specific idea, that of moral trauma, moral injury, especially bigotry. What is the acceptable level of bigotry in our society? Ethnic jokes, use of misgendered names for trans individuals, or tired cliches about who wears the pants in a gay marriage. Redlining, we okay with that? Shooting tear gas at people. What is a healthy level of bigotry for a community? Again, I'm going to take a leap of faith here and assume that for us, the answer is none. There is no acceptable level of bigotry. That level should be zero. We recognize that expressions of bigotry, be they overt, like nooses left on a college campus or swastikas painted in a professor's office, or subtle, like crossing the street when a man of color comes our way, are unacceptable in a just society. We may be surprised to find our behavior turns out to be unintentionally bigoted from time to time. How many people do we know who use the R word out of habit, never in their wildest imaginations meaning to demean people who have special needs or developmental issues? And when we've discovered we've said something offensive, we go through our cycle of defensiveness, of embarrassment, of remorse, and we correct the behavior. At least that's what's supposed to happen. Regardless, we recognize that to behave in this way is to cause real pain, is to cause moral trauma. And if there's no level of pain that is acceptable, then there can be no level of moral trauma that is acceptable. So why is it that when anti-Semitism comes up in a discussion, the conversation quickly turns to the idea that there is some level of anti-Semitism that is acceptable in a free and just society. If you are a conservative, you should tolerate attacks on liberal forms of Judaism, the use of old canards and blood libels against opponents, political opponents, so long as the conservative individual in question is a supporter of Israel. And we can have a conversation about what it means to support Israel another time. If you're a liberal, you should retain your fealty to the leaders of the Women's March and remember that their anti-Semitism, their expression of support for Louis Farrakhan, their accusations that supporters of Israel are not somehow loyal to the United States, aren't really anti-Semitism. That they are fighting for justice for all, and our supposedly white privilege and wealth means we should just shut up and support the cause. And if you think that this conversation is limited to the political realm or the activist realm, just bring up with your friends on the internet how you don't celebrate Christmas and go get your popcorn and watch what happens. Or talk to the parent, any parent of any kid in any school, public or private, and ask them about the conversations they've had with fellow parents or with school administrators about how miffed those other parents and sometimes the teachers are that the schools are closed for Rosh Hashanah. That we are somehow undermining the education of children by even wanting the day off from school. If there is no level of pain or trauma, including moral injury, that is acceptable, why are we expected to grin and bear it? I ask this pointedly because I've been thinking about it for some time, specifically something that Linda Sarsour, one of the leaders of the Women's March, said a while ago, and it's something that has now been repeated on many college campuses, that a good liberal, a good progressive, should not humanize Zionists. That to do so would be like asking black folk to humanize members of the Ku Klux Klan. I cannot begin to tell you how freaked out this idea makes me. Let's leave aside the comparison between Israel and the Klan for a second, because that's crazy enough. I'm troubled by this idea that we should somehow dehumanize the people that we disagree with, as if disagreement or anger is somehow too milquetoast a response. How does dehumanizing my opponent help? For one thing, does it give them room or space to learn or grow or make amend for their actions? Does it give us the space to see their perspective, their reality, to see their own human dignity? What does it accomplish other than making all of us, every single one of us, complicit in defacing God's image in the world, denying the humanity and by extension the holiness inherent in everyone? We may disagree vehemently with the other we are facing. We may be angry at their choices. We may rage against the ways they undermine our sense of what is right. But they're still people. Of course, that doesn't stop people, even in their humanity, from doing the wrong thing. As Donna Hicks points out in her book, Dignity, while our humanity cannot be questioned, our actions are always open for judgment. Look at the Torah portion that Rabbi Capel just read from. Joseph is introduced as a pretty awful character. Put the musical aside for a minute. He tells his father awful things about his brothers, and there's a question as to whether he's even telling the truth or not. The favorite child, he rubs it in his brother's face by telling them about his dreams, dreams that make him the hero. Can we wonder why his brothers hated him, were angry with him, could not say a word of peace to him, as the text says? His actions are wretched. But his brothers don't stop to correct the behavior, nor do they just chew him out. As we just heard, They gang up on him. They tear his clothes. They fling him into a pit, starving him. They sell him into slavery. And finally, they rub his beloved cloak in sheep's blood to suggest that he was torn apart by a wild beast. Joseph's behavior is bad. But his brothers dehumanize him, making him a slave, even going so far as to literally replace their brother with a dead animal. They deny Joseph his dignity, sending him to Egypt, an act that will have, as we heard before, massive consequences, not the least of which Israel's eventual 400 years of exile and servitude in Egypt. That, my friends, is the outcome of refusing to humanize, to recognize the humanity in the other. It will eventually result in our own dehumanization. And as a people who have been the subject of dehumanization, as recently as last month, we understand that threat intuitively. There is pain and trauma in this world, a whole lot more than zero. There is pain and trouble being caused by people claiming to do so in the name of American values. And I will resist and do what I can to heal pain and repair trauma in this world. There's a lot of bigotry in this world, a lot more than none. And I will do everything I can to create a culture of peace and justice in this world. But demonizing and dehumanizing the other will not help us heal pain. It will not help us create peace or justice. As we mark the end of Shloshim, the end of the 30 days of mourning for the victims of the Tree of Life shooting in Pittsburgh, let us remember that there is no level of trauma, no level of moral injury or bigotry that is acceptable in a just society, and that any attempt to dehumanize the other must be met with all the resistance we can muster. Ken Yehi Ratzon. May it be God's will. Our service continues on page 282 as we rise for Aleinu L'Shabeach.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
On page 294, Adonai Natan v'Adonai Lakach, Yishem Adonai Mevarach. God gives, God takes away. Blessed be the name of God. If you are in the first 30 days of your mourning, I invite you to rise at this time. And if you're in the first year of your mourning, I invite you to rise. If you observe a yard site on the Shabbat, I invite you to rise at this time. And if it is your custom to rise to remember those whom only we can remember, I invite you to do so as we join together in Mourner's Kaddish. Yet Gadal v'yet Kadash Shemei Rabbah Bi'alma divrach hirute v'yamlich malchute v'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayedecho Beit Yisrael ba'agala uvisman kari v'imru amen. Yehe Shemei Rabbah mevarach leolam ulal me'almaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal Shemei d'Kudusha barichu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shalama rabba min shamaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, huya se shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. We remember Louis Statt, Judith Blake, laid to rest only a few days ago, Sylvia David, laid to rest only this morning, Hildy Abter, Irving Aronson, Seymour Burlow, Oscar Bregman, Dorothea Davis, Emmanuel Alexander Drucker, Helen Gilbert, Joan Helfand, Mabel Hertzfeld, Irvin Hochstein, Samuel Joseph, Elias Koffler, William Margolin, Jenny Ozier, Bessie Paul, Reuben Rosenwald, Ignaz Roth, Jack Rubenstein, Ethel Schur, Bessie Silverman, Rebecca Soriano, Benjamin Steinbach, Morris Wolf. If you have a name to add, I invite you to share that name as my eyes meet yours. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing as we say, amen. Please be seated. Mazal tov to our bat mitzvah, to Allison, to you and to your whole family. Looking forward to celebrating with you on the Bima tomorrow morning. Torah study at 9:30, services at 11. I hope you will join us for that. You should have received a Sabbath Lights, which is once again full, and you can see it is full with both fun and exciting things like our Hanukkah celebration next Friday, and also important social action things, especially with regard to our pantry, to the mitzvah menorah that you saw just outside the sanctuary, to the food that we are collecting, to the shoes that we are collecting, to all the different things that we're doing to try to alleviate poverty and injustice in our community. I encourage you to find your way to commit yourself to the betterment of the society around us, and whatever it is, to give of yourself. Lots else going on in our community. You can look in the Sabbath Lights to see all of the programming we have to offer. And with that, we'll turn in our prayer books to page 321 as we join together in Adon Olam. Let's rise.
Adon olam asher malach b'terem ko yitzir nivra ve'et nasa v'chefso kol azai melech shemo nikra azai melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora v'chu haya v'chu hove v'hu yiyeh v'tifara v'hu yiyeh v'tifara v'hu echad ve'en sheni להמשילו לכחבירה בלי ראשית בלי תכלית ולא העוז והמשרה ולא העוז והמשרה והוא אלי וחי גואלי בצור חבלי tzara, v'hui nisi umanos li, benat kosi bayom ekra, benat kosi bayom ekra, בידיו קירוחי, בעת אישן מאירה, באברוכי גביעתי, אדוני לי ולא אירה, אדוני לי ולא אירה.
Let's join together in Hamotzi and then join each other for our next Shabbat.
Hamotzi lachem min haaretz, we give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together, as our prayer is joyfully said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lachem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Yasher koach.